Hi guys, Harry Otis here, professional trader for 20 years now. Started my career in 2005 and still alive in 2026. Well, today is the final day of May, okay, Friday the 29th right here. And as you suspected, the Trump AI window dressing game is still on. We suspected that we're going to have window dressing for the past 2 days, Thursday and Friday, and we got it. The market slowly drifting higher. Okay, and the big news of the day, of course, is today, Trump AI window dressing. Okay, what do we mean by that? We'll get to that. We'll talk about all of that going forward. But first, let's talk about the technical picture, guys. We said it's bullish. We're at new highs, and yet we should be wary of the negative divergence. Okay, it doesn't mean it has to play out. Okay, if the market keeps going higher, it'll be negated. Like this, the RSI will start going higher, the MACD will start going higher, and will negate the negative divergence, which would be very strange. Very at highs. It's like this is a very, very strong bull market. Okay, it could happen. Okay, and we'll get to why. But first, let's pair the bullish technical picture with our fear and greed sentiment. Sentiment is base 60, still staying within the 60-61 range, despite the market drifting higher. And we're getting mixed signals and momentum. Yes, we still have the strength and the breadth in fear, and people still buying put call ratios. People still buying calls and dropping the put call ratio. So it's the same story over and over. We have a mixed sentiment, not at extremes yet. Okay, so we have sentiment and all these indicators. Like if we look at the classic McClellan oscillators, we can see here. Like let's put 1 year. This is a classic oscillation metric. Overbought, oversold if it gets to the real high levels. But let's put it for like a couple of years so you can see. Look, we're still in the middle of the range. You can go as high as 250 and as low as 300 before hitting extremes. And the most recent one was, at 175, which was, when was that? Okay, this was in April 16th. Okay, we hit the McClellan oscillators up to 197. That's why we had a little bit of a pullback. So we're saying here that things are not really at extremes. We're not at extremes. We could still go much higher. Okay, we're seeing the sentiment is in our favor. The technicals are in our favor. We can still drift higher. I think we might get a pump on Monday before maybe Tuesday pulling back. Okay, but so far, this is why you have to ride the trend. Very, very strong, very, very unusual. And we'll get to the even more unusual nature going forward when we get into Trump AI window dressing. So what are we talking about here? Okay, well, the big news today is that Trump lays out Iran deal demands, says he's about to make a final determination on the Iranian deal. So we have oil going down. But basically what I wanted to get to is it's not just the oil thing. We've talked about that forever, okay? What we want to talk about is the Trump AI window dressing, what would you call it? Theme, meme. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that this move up here is very, very different, okay? Now, Trump, you have Trump coming out today and basically saying,
Krishna of IBM, who's actually become, I would say, a legend. The job he's done. He's taken the stock from a rather low price to a very nice price. I won't say high because I'm sure you're going to say it's going to go up a lot more, right? So I can't say a high.
So basically, he's touting IBM. Okay, before he touted Dell, it went higher. He also touted Intel, and it went higher. So basically, it's the Trump AI theme, if you will, and the uniqueness of this move is that we're not having new leaders emerge. We're having basically the old school type of companies picking up the slack, okay? We mentioned Intel, okay? Okay, today had a bad day because we said that it's the weakest one of all. But look, it went from $40 up to 120. This was a Trump move, okay? Trump AI, everything is shifting to like AI, shortage of chips, okay? It's an SMH move. We had SMH, okay, going to highs. I still think this might get cut down, okay, a little bit. Doesn't have to do it a lot, okay? So what happened with Dell? This is what he was talking about. Dell, boom. After earnings, which they crushed 64% increase in their EPS, always a solid company, very, very solid fundamentally, and increasing in revenues. And it increased guidance going forward. So look at that. A big, what was it up today? 30%? 32%, and maybe it was up as high as 40. So you're having these like old school on a high volume, old school companies making a huge move, and everybody now is speculating, like we saw right here in the IBM, that if you miss Dell and you want to buy another Trump stock, it's going to be IBM. Okay, so you have all these, and look what happened to IBM today. boom, up another 12%. Was there any big news? Multi-year, it unveiled a multi-year $15 billion investment from quantum computing. Okay, we've seen this. So basically, it's back close to highs in literally a week or so, a week and a bit. It went from 222 to 297. This is a big move for an old, stodgy, quote-unquote, boomer company, right? So you're having all these old companies making big moves, old meaning that they've been here for a while. They shouldn't be doing this, and yet they are. So you're having this weird move where you have SMH leading everything, but that might be getting tired, and everybody else now is trying to pick up the slack, because we saw in this sentiment indicator the stock price breadth, and we showed it with a McClellan oscillator, as you can see it in another way. The McClellan oscillator, it's a ratio adjusted. It's about the same thing. We're still in the middle. We can still go higher. Okay, so you have, like we mentioned before, we still have moves to the upside, even though it looks parabolic. Okay, although the semiconductors might be taking a breather. Okay, so we talked about the old stodgy Trump moves like in Dell and IBM next. I'm waiting. Okay, I'm not entering these yet. This is not for me to enter at this point. I will tell you guys if I do, maybe on a pullback and it looks better. But as of right now, no, I'm not entering these stocks. Okay, but I am looking at SMH, and you know that SMH, I'm thinking that it might start drifting lower, maybe consolidate at highs. And we have companies like MU, who might also up today, even though SMH is down, might consolidate. Again, negative divergence. We mentioned that before. This is the leader, I guess, whatever you want. Even AMD, same thing. Okay, you're gonna have the same move, AMD. Not really. See, a classic example is that when you have a trend, who cares if it's overbought? Okay, it doesn't really matter. So, but there comes a time where valuation does matter, and maybe not now, but we might be taking a breather here and getting the stock breadth up, which means other sectors will participate, not just the semis. Okay, so you have Dell, you have IBM, quantum computing coming out. So who knows what it is? Okay, but my stock right here that I am short, I took possession of the short. Okay, because my options here expired. The put expired worthless, but the call in the money. So I'm being assigned shares of Intel at a price of 88. It's $88, but I collected about $850 in credits. So basically 96 is a break even. Now I don't know what I'll do. I think it's going to continue to go lower. I think I might sell a put as it's going lower, or just might cover. Who knows? But I think this is the loser of the group. Intel is the loser company of all the chip companies. Okay, so I think it might even go lower. So as chips consolidate, this one might go lower. Okay, we don't know yet. That's what I'm hoping. But this trade is going to be a loser. I'm going to get out of it at break even, probably around 95, 96, if it ever gets there. Who knows? Or I can keep selling puts on it. I haven't decided yet. So what I'm trying to say in all of this diatribe is that I think maybe the chips might be slowing down. You have other guys picking up the slack like Dell and IBM coming up, the old school guys coming up, the AI Trump play coming up. And I mean, you even have, just before we go, you even have like other stocks like, remember SMCI, Supermicrocomputers, the leader of last time, got hit. But even that is catching bids recently. So it's almost like people are trying to find out, can I pick up the laggards? Can I see what else I can do? Which is, not quite what you want to do. It's not really something that you want to play, but this could be a short-term play. Missed it, but you're having these laggards coming up and filling up the slack like IBM and all that. But IBM is a much better company than SMCI. So that's what I wanted to say. You have the semiconductors pulling back. SPY is still at highs. You want to wait for a pullback here. I am net long with some short exposure. Okay, I'm not really chasing this move. I think we drifted slowly into highs, and maybe Monday we'll get another boost up. Okay, on this Trump AI move. So who knows? But I'm still waiting for a down move before adding more exposure. Okay, I have cash, but I'm generally net long with some short exposure. Okay, and let's finish it off by looking at gold. I love gold. Okay, literally 2 days when we mentioned it could come to the lows, because basically we're coming to the point where it's going to hit the 200. Look at that. Yesterday it hit the 200, wicked up. Okay, even here in March. It hit the 200, boom, wicked up. It's like it doesn't want it. It's electricity. You touch it, it's the power line. You touch it, you get burnt. So you touch the 200, up. Touch the 200, up. Okay, so I love this space now. Now I love it more than ever. Okay, I've been buying some gold stocks around these levels, and if it ever goes lower and breaks it, I will buy more. Okay, because I think we're getting to the point where we're at apathy. We're apathy. Nobody cares about this space anymore, and we're going to come back because the fundamentals haven't changed. If the war ends and it's over, or the Strait of Hormuz is open, it doesn't even have to end. There could be some kind of détente, but the Strait of Hormuz is relatively open, and there's mitigating factors that we talked about in the oil market. Gold is going to come back because people will not be playing the sell gold to buy oil trade anymore. Okay? And Gulf nations or whoever requires U.S. funds will no longer need to sell gold to acquire those funds if they're an oil producing country, because now they can just sell their oil if the Strait of Hormuz is open. So I suspect gold recatches a bid, and I love it because it doesn't have to crash out. Like I was hoping that it would break below the 200 and go lower before going up, capture some people short. But if people aren't caring about this space, I don't think a move breaking below the 200 is going to really like get people to like abandon the space, because not a lot of people are in it right now. So I don't know. I'm still waiting, but I think we are close to a workable low before a summer rally comes. Who knows, in a month, weeks, something like that. Okay, we're not there yet, but I'd like to put it on the radar because we haven't talked about it in a long time, and I think this is the time to talk about it. This is when you should be accumulating during the summertime, waiting for a rally. Okay, one of the most opportune times to do that. Like it's almost always the case to buy in the summertime when it comes to gold because everybody sells it off. However, not last year. Last year just so strong, it just ripped through everything. Okay, but this year we have a chance. So that's it, guys. Let's put May in the bag. Good month. A little bit harrowing, but we may have harrowing April. Good May. Harrowing March. I should say March, and then April, May is pretty good. May was great too. No complaints. Let's see what happens going forward. Later.